First thing that kind of sticks out when I look at the box score is, you know, us 17 assists. You look back at the game against St. John's, I believe we had 6. So we definitely, you know, played well together and shared the ball. You know, I didn't think we'd come into this game and only shoot 5 free throws, considering how many times we got to the line on average. But it was a well called game, and credit to Coach Spiker for coming here and having a great game plan and taking us to the wire. So it was a really battle, and he's a really good coach, and I'm sure it was special for him to be back in the Coliseum and getting a coach on the floor here.
So second half to first half, you guys had some struggles. First half offensively, second half you shot much better. Was good offense by you? What was the difference second half?
You know, in the 2 days leading up to the game, you know, the big message for me to our guys is you got to, you know, don't lose the joy in this game. You know, we all dreamed of being in a position to, you know, be where we're at, whether it's us as coaches or those guys as players. And I said, don't second guess yourself. Play with complete confidence, and if you get a good look, you shooters let it fly. So, you know, seeing Seth get that early one, and you could just tell there was a flip of a switch that, you know, and I kept on trying to go back at him and trying to get him more shots, and I'm going to go to the hot hand whenever I can. But it was refreshing to see, you know, 7 for 17. It's a good change of pace there.
What kind of lift did a coach give you today?
It's huge. I mean, that's the second thing that jumps out is you know, he's plus 15 in 12 minutes and only scoring 5 points. But big three, but more than anything, he just gives everybody a lift on the defensive end. He's with his size and length, and he can sit down and guard a point guard if he has to. He can switch on to anybody on the floor. He can guard a big. So from a coaching standpoint, it gives you so much more leverage out there to do what you want to do defensively. And so he was a huge lift. You know, I don't know what he played, maybe 8 minutes in that last game, and now he's up to 12, and he looked a little better, a little fresher out there. I know we had to get him out at one point, you know, foul to get him out, but hopefully it'll be a big week for him to get him, you know, the conditioning, take it up a couple notches, and have a week off to get ready for UMass, and hopefully we can get his numbers up and minutes up to whether it be 16, 17, 18 minutes a game. So, yeah, he was a huge lift for us.
Keep firing away from three?
Yeah, I even looked at trying to get him another shot out of a set, but they blew it up on the strong side, so I couldn't get it over, swung to that other side to get him a look. But I was certainly trying to get him another shot in the process. But by the time I was getting back around to getting him another look, it was time to get him out of the game because he was, you know, gassed at that point.
Is that a strength for him, the three-point?
Yeah, I mean, yes. I mean, we've had practices where I believe early before when we first got him, you know, the second week, you know, I believe he had a practice where he's 7 for 7 from 3, and he just had no problem just lifting it, and it was very comfortable for him. So he's not one of those bigs that's going to, you know, take you down low, but he is such a force defensively, and he's got a good shot. So I have no problem with him letting that thing go.
Do you have any explanation what the name was on his back, on his jersey?
Who's that?
A Cook.
A Cook?
Yeah.
What about
Part
it?
of his full name.
That's what?
It's part of his full name.
That's part of his full name? Okay.
I didn't even realize what's on the back of his jersey. I don't really. Honestly, I really have a hard time with our players' numbers and names on the back of their jersey. I'm more concerned about the other team and their numbers and understanding what they do. I know what our guys do. So,
considering he missed 5 weeks, conditioning-wise, when can he get back to close to 100%? How long do you think that'll take? I mean,
yeah, I don't know. You know, being in game shape's a little different. So, getting that adrenaline going and being in a game, and we've definitely made some huge progress even in 3 days from Wednesday to Saturday. So it'll be critical. You know, we have a tomorrow off. We'll have Wednesday off. We'll have 2 hard practices, Monday and Tuesday, and then we'll have another 2 hard practices before we go to Springfield. So we got 4 practices this week during finals week, and hopefully we can get up and down as much as we can, and especially on that Monday, Tuesday stretch, and get them even, closer to giving us that 20 minutes and 25 minutes that I'd love to see them, play.
As far as transitioning Kerr in, is it a matter of just telling him to, maybe put on a different color practice jersey and just get in there?
It is pretty. I mean, he's a very intelligent basketball player, and probably, his IQ is off the charts in terms of basketball IQ. So he's been doing everything with us from day one. Now, a lot of it here recently has been on the scout team, but he knows our plays, inside and out, and he can really be that coach on the floor. And I think, with him in the game, I think I've told you guys many times, Kobe's steady with it, and he's done a great job at point, and he'll back up the point with Kerr in there. But having both of them in the game at the same time is going to be just as effective as anything. We've got 2 guys that can make a pass. Look at his numbers today. I mean, Kobe was 6-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, and as a coach, there's so many opportunities. You're trying to figure out who's going to make the pass off the ball, especially when you're running sets. You're always asking that question. It's not always easy to put a point guard in position to make that critical pass. So he usually starts the offense, and having another guy out there that can, make an entry pass or whatever that may be is going to be crucial for us.
Will it be an adjustment for the other 4 guys on the floor? Or?
I think it's going to be a healthy adjustment. If it's not somebody's night, I mean, you can certainly, figure out, the minute-wise in terms of bringing some of those minutes down. You look at how many minutes some of these guys have played, it's probably their production level is probably going to increase with less minutes. And we have a lot easier to keep guys accountable in doing the right things out there when you get more numbers.
Do you just turn the offense over to him on the floor? I don't mean necessarily calling plays and stuff like that, but...
Well, I mean, for the most part, it's turned over to Kobe, too. I mean, it's hard to call a set or an action on the fly. So Kobe's done a good job of running stuff on the fly and calling things. So it'll be nice to have that, the 1-2 punch with both those guys.
Josh, can you just kind of reflect on Kobe's 9 games and what he inherited and how he performed?
I think he's done an excellent job. Excellent job at nobody ever, when they brought him in here, looked at him as a pure point guard by any means. And he's done an amazing job for us over the 3 years, being that guy that can sit down and guard their best player. And he's got such good length and good footwork that that's going to be just as valuable as anything to us to have them off the ball and put them in a position to guard their best player. And it's hard to ask a guy to do that when he's running the point and playing 37, 38 minutes a game. So to have that luxury is going to be huge from a scouting perspective.
And then the way you structured next week, it's different, it seems like, as your class schedule. So it's not like just follow the model from last year, but is it a little bit different? It sounds like you're practicing more than I'm used to you guys practicing during finals week.
I think it's pretty typical. We got a Saturday to Saturday between games, and typically we have 2 days off in that week. So that's the time you can kind of hit the reset button. But we got a lot of work to do to get everybody acclimated. So get Cook back acclimated and getting him his game legs and get Kerr back in there and working with first team. And so, we got a lot of work to do and leading up to a really good UMass team. And it'll be special to get out there and go against Frank. I know I've worked with Frank in the past, and we go back to the K-State days. So it'll be a fun matchup in Springfield.
In terms of Zach Spiker, I don't know how well you know him, but he obviously coming back home. You've been to K-State a lot. Is it different your first couple of times there? Do you think about it, or when the game starts, is it just a game?
I'm sure you put a lot more thought into it leading up to it, and that's kind of the way it's been for me. But once you start, you throw the ball up in the air and you tip it off, you just kind of zone in. But I'm sure it was special for him. I think it's the first time he's been back to the Coliseum as a head coach, and I was quick to welcome him back home. I'm sure it was probably emotional for him, being that he grew up in this building in so many ways. So it was great to have him back, and I respect the heck out of him. He's a really good coach, and he's done a fabulous job with that program.
Coach, the news that came out a couple of days ago with the states joining together and with the, I guess you call it a suit or court case with Raekwon, them seeking an injunction. Have you been told or heard of like a timeline of what that could look like or anything? Or?
No, I wish I did. I mean, these things always seem to drag out a lot longer than, you think that you're going to get a quick answer, but from the initial waiver to the appeal, the reconsideration, everything's taken time, and way longer time than I expected it to. So I hope we get some great news, and I think it's very important that they get this one right, and I hope they do.
One more on that, Josh. When they come back with the appeal and they deny it, is that case closed and you guys can't have any other conversations or?
You can bring new information to the table and try to ask for a reconsideration.
Is that where you're at? You did say reconsideration, so.
Yeah.
So you actually have asked them to reconsider?
Yeah, there's a reconsideration in place, so it's up to them what they do with it.
You in contact with any people in the portal?
Yeah.
So there's still a chance that.
Yeah, I mean, we're always working to try to figure out what options there are out there. So it's nice to see where a Cook is. So that gives us more depth, and we know Kerr's coming back. So more than anything, I'd just love for us to get the guys that we have now. So I'd be very happy if we had Kerr, Cook, and Raekwon. I wouldn't feel like I need to go anywhere else. But I'm always looking at other options.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you.